While the rest of the world takes 10 years to approve the construction of a single bridge, China builds entire cities from scratch, drills through 5,000-meter mountains, and puts up skyscrapers in less time than it takes you to change jobs. And what you're about to see today are not scale models, blueprints, or the dreams of ambitious engineers. These are real projects, already built, completed at a speed that defies all logic. But I'm going to be straight with you. Of all the projects on this list, there is one so ambitious, so close to madness, that it's not just reshaping one country's map. It's making governments across half the planet nervous, because with it, China could literally take control of the water supply for 1 billion people. Stay until the end, because once you understand what it's about, you'll never look at China the same way again. And to understand what this country is truly capable of, we have to start with something that, when you tell people about it, they simply refuse to believe. In the city of Changsha, they built a 57-story skyscraper in 19 days. That's not a typo. 19 days. 200 meters of height erected while you were sleeping, having breakfast, and commuting to work. In the time it takes you to finish a TV series, they finished a building that in any other country would have taken 2 years. How is that even possible? The secret is that they didn't build it the traditional way, brick by brick, but with more than 2,700 prefabricated modules made in a factory. Fully finished sections that arrived ready to go and were assembled on-site like giant Lego blocks. They managed to install 3 complete floors per day. And here's the truly unsettling part. It's not some shoddy construction. The building can withstand magnitude 9 earthquakes and meet safety standards that exceed those of conventional buildings. China gave this a name. They call it Chinese speed. And when you see what it's capable of, you understand why the rest of the world started to get nervous. But that speed doesn't stop at buildings. It also shows up in the way people move. Imagine boarding a train and suddenly realizing it's not touching the ground. That's exactly what happens on the Shanghai Maglev, the fastest commercial train on the planet, which reaches 431 kilometers per hour. At that speed, the buildings outside the window turn into blurred streaks and the horizon seems to bend. The secret is that it has no wheels. The train floats thanks to powerful electromagnets that lift it 10 millimeters above the rail. No friction, no physical contact, none of that familiar rattling. It accelerates from 0 to 350 kilometers per hour in under 2 minutes, connecting the airport to the city center, a journey that would take over an hour by car, in just 7 minutes and 20 seconds. But the most mind-blowing part isn't the speed, it's the date. China put this train into commercial operation over 20 years ago. While the rest of the world was still debating in conferences whether magnetic levitation technology was even viable, China was already carrying passengers at over 400 kilometers per hour. While some were talking, others were already flying without ever leaving the ground. And if what they do on land seems incredible, wait until you see what they've aimed at the sky. Hidden in the mountains of Guizhou province, China built something that looks like it was pulled straight from a movie. A giant dish 500 meters in diameter pointing at the cosmos. They call it the Eye of the Sky, and it is the largest radio telescope in the world. To give you a sense of scale, that dish covers the surface area of about 30 football fields. And what is an antenna this enormous for? Listening to the universe. It's so sensitive that it can pick up radio signals that have been traveling through space for over 13 billion years. In practical terms, it's listening to the echo of the Big Bang, the sound of the very birth of the universe. Its more than 4,000 panels move in coordinated millimeter-precise unison like a dance, tracking objects millions of light years away. But here's the truly chilling part. This telescope is designed, among other things, to search for intelligent life beyond Earth. And many scientists believe that if there is someone out there trying to communicate, this Chinese device will likely be the first to pick up the signal. To build it, China relocated 9,000 people from nearby villages, just to make sure no mobile phone would interfere with the silence of the cosmos. While you watch this video, that giant eye keeps listening, and nobody knows what it might hear tomorrow. From staring at the stars, we move to something many people simply call the eighth wonder of the world. The bridge connecting Hong Kong, Zhuhai, and Macau stretches 55 kilometers across open sea and is the longest sea bridge on the planet. But the truly incredible part isn't above the water, it's below it. In the middle of the crossing, the bridge dips beneath the surface and becomes an underwater tunnel nearly 7 kilometers long that passes under the sea so that large ships can sail above it without a collision. That tunnel was built by sinking 33 massive concrete segments, each the size of an 8-story building and weighing 80,000 tons, which had to be fitted together one by one on the ocean floor with a margin of error of less than 5 millimeters. It was like performing brain surgery at the bottom of the ocean in the middle of a storm. One single mistake and everything would come apart. To pull it off, Chinese engineers had to develop more than 1,000 new patents. The bridge is designed to withstand brutal hurricanes, magnitude 8 earthquakes, and even a collision from a 300,000-ton ship with a projected lifespan of 120 years. It's said that when an American engineer saw the project, he let out a line that says it all. It was as if the Chinese had captured extraterrestrials to make it happen. And just when you think everything in China is measured in billions and artificial intelligence, a story comes along that changes everything. Because the project coming up costs no fortune, has no sensors or cutting-edge technology. It's something far deeper. In the Taihang Mountains, there was a village called Guoliang, trapped at the top of a cliff more than 1,000 meters high, completely cut off from the world. Its residents could only descend via a staircase carved into the rock, so narrow and dangerous that several villagers died trying to cross it. In 1972, tired of waiting for government help that never came, 13 villagers made a decision that looked like suicide. They were going to dig a tunnel more than 1 kilometer long through the mountain with their bare hands. No machines, no excavators, nothing. Just hammers, chisels, and an unbreakable stubbornness. They worked for 5 straight years. Several were injured. One of them died during the project. But they did it. Today, there is a tunnel 5 meters tall, carved by hand into solid rock, with windows cut open to the cliff face that offer breathtaking views. And here is the lesson that no billion-dollar megaproject can ever buy. Sometimes, the greatest feat of engineering is born not from a government or a corporation with an endless budget, but from pure human will. When a group of people truly decides that something has to be done, not even a mountain can stop them. And now, here we are, the project we opened with. The most insane of them all. China had a massive problem. The south of the country was swimming in water, while the north, home to its most densely populated cities, was dying of thirst from chronic droughts. The solution they came up with wasn't to expand a reservoir or dig a few wells. It was, quite simply, to move entire oceans of water from one end of the country to the other. They call it the South to North Water Diversion Project, and it is the largest hydraulic engineering project in the history of humanity. We're talking about a network of canals, aqueducts, and tunnels stretching more than 14,000 kilometers. To put that into perspective, it's like building an artificial river running from Spain all the way to the far end of Africa. There are elevated aqueducts that cross through the air for kilometers, water bridges that pass over rivers, and tunnels that run under other rivers. It is, literally, an artificial circulatory system for an entire country. Every year, more than 10 billion cubic meters of water travel northward to provide drinking water for 170 million people. And to make it possible, China had to relocate 400,000 people from their homes. But here's the part that truly makes half the world nervous. Many of the rivers China wants to control originate on the Tibetan Plateau, and they are the exact same rivers that feed India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Meaning, the day China gains full control over that water flow, it won't just have solved its own drought problem. It will have its hand on the tap that more than 1 billion people in other countries depend on to survive. And at that point, we stop talking about engineering and start talking about power in its purest form. Because whoever controls the water controls everything. Everything you've seen today is not fantasy. These are real programs with real budgets from a power that has spent decades building in silence while almost no one was watching. Skyscrapers in 19 days, floating trains, giant ears listening to the universe, and artificial rivers reshaping the geography of the planet. But all of this leaves one unsettling question on the table. If China has managed to accomplish all of this in plain sight, what might it be building right now, in secret, that it hasn't shown us yet? Now you tell me. Out of all these mega projects, which one left you speechless? The impossible skyscraper, the tunnel hand-carved by 13 people, or that artificial river that could give China control over half the world's water? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next one.